All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Signature Sales Meeting, and I am not Brandon. But so Brandon and the whole group were flying back last night from Orlando, and Brandon had to go to Denver, and I guess his flight from Denver got delayed. He's really in a good mood, so make sure you text him and say, hey, what's going on with you? So I'm here to cover today, and we're going to do some more business planning, and I get to share with you today my pillars of business planning success. Trademark pending. Okay, so with that, we're going to start off with some wants and needs. I want to share with you a quick little story that happened to me. So my nephew made the decision, I don't know why, that he was going to move his entire family across country to a little bitty town in Michigan. His wife is actually from there. I have no idea because I don't remember the names of little towns in Michigan, but it's a good town. It's actually called Standish. See, I care about my clients. And so they decide that they're going to move there. They're going to buy an amazing little farm. And so the first thing I did is when I sold him the house, Shelly did his loan. And so I called Shelly and I said, hey, do you work in Michigan? And she says, yeah, I work everywhere. And so I was able to connect him back with Shelly. Shelly's actually doing the loan on their place that they're moving to. But the story is not about that. The story is about the listing on their house. And so I want to tell you a little tale that's really shown me what's going on in the marketplace. So they have a property I sold them. It's over on Boulder Highway in Russell on the other side of the water park, brand new home development that they were building over there. It's only about 4 to maybe 5 years old. It's about, let's see, I think it's 2152 square feet. They have the nicest lot in the neighborhood. You ever heard that before? Nicest lot in the neighborhood. It actually is. It sits on kind of an inlay cul-de-sac corner triangle piece, and beautiful backyard. I mean, the backyard is the whole selling point. The inside of the house, my nephew was a mechanical engineering type guy, so he's fixed everything in his house the way he wants it. Really pretty place, wainscoting, laminate floors, wood floors downstairs. I mean, just perfect, right? So we send in a high-end photographer, we take the pictures. The last comp to sell in his neighborhood comped at $435. So what do you think I listed his house for?
$425.
Okay, that would have all been good ideas. Where were you when I needed you? So I went to him and I said, listen, we've got some options. I need to let you know, number one, the market is turning, and it's not the same marketplace. Properties aren't selling for more than lists. They're usually selling for less than lists. But there's only been one sold comp in your neighborhood, and there's not enough comps to really make everything come together. So we have a choice to make. We can list exactly on the last comp. Your home is way nicer because it's, of course, the nicest home in the neighborhood. Or we can list $10,000, $15,000 below that. What do you want to do? Right? Because that's what we're supposed to say to our clients. What do you want to do? So we list this house at $435. First week, not one showing. Okay? I'm the only listing in the entire neighborhood that's actually for sale, and I'm the only listing within a square mile of my property that's for sale, and not one showing. What do you do when there's no showings on your listing? You pray a lot, right? So I'm on the phone with them, and I said, listen, this is indicative of the market we're in. We're in a weird segment of it. We only have two choices. We can either hold out and see how it goes next week, or we can reduce your price in $5,000 increments until we get some activity. So his wife, who's ready to move, says, let's reduce the price. So we drop the price $5,000 the first week, right? What do you think happens the next week?
Nothing.
Not one showing. Not even a phone call because they got the wrong number, right? And so now I start piecing together the pieces, and I said, well, listen, there's something else I need to tell you. It's appointment with the owner. You have a kid, you have a dog, and so, you know, some agents want to have it very easy when they go show property, so your property won't be the first one they show, right? And I said, but we can move you out of the house, or we could drop the price another $5,000. And he comes back and says, well, let's drop it $25,000. And I said, well, hold on. Let's not give it away, right? And you got to remember, they bought this home 5 years ago, so they did very well in the equity position on the property, so they have a lot of good equity. So I said, let's do 10, right? Let's just do 10. We're probably priced a little high in that marketplace. Let's see how it goes. So we dropped the price another $10,000. Now, 2 price reductions in 14 days. We still have not had one showing. We let 7 days go by. Guess what happened? Not one. Not one showing. So what do you do when you have no showings? You hold an open house, because that forces people to come to the property so they see people come through it. We have an open house. We have about 15 people that actually come through the property, and all of them say, wow, best home that I've seen, looks great, no offers. So what do you do next? We reduce the price again. Yeah, you were there with us, weren't you? Yeah. So we dropped the price, and we get to the price of $415. Right? We listed it at $435. We're now at $415, and $20,000. We've dropped the price in 3.5 weeks. Is that really aggressive? Yeah. Is that what everyone's doing on all of their listings? No. Why were we so aggressive?
They wanted to move.
Who wanted to move? They wanted to move, and they were motivated, and I provide information, and they make decisions. Guess what happened when we dropped it to $415?
Got an offer.
Yeah, we got a showing, okay? And I was so excited. So I'll never forget, I remember her calling me on the phone, and she goes, hey, guess what? Somebody called me. And I said, where are they calling you about the house? And she says, yeah, they're on their way over. What should we do? I said, leave, right? And so they come in and they show the property. And about an hour later, I said, how did the showing go? She said, it went great. They loved the home. They were talking about it. I could hear them on our Ring doorbell. They were saying how much they liked it. And you won't believe this, but I just got another phone call, and I have another couple coming over. And I'm like, wow, this is when a plan comes together, right? So that day, one of the couples wrote an offer. We ended up accepting the offer. And the reason I'm telling you this is not because I want to tell you how my life goes. I'm telling you because this is the market we've now entered. People are right now listing properties still $25,000 above the last comp. Is that a smart decision?
No.
No. And why are homes not getting activity? It's because either price, condition, or location. You can't pick the home up and move it unless it has wheels, right? And you can always change and improve condition, but how much do clients really want to spend in a market like this? Nothing. And so the only thing you can really affect is price, but price can be affected in a number of ways. It can be reduced in the MLS, or more activities can be done around that price to drive more interest, right? And so I would have continued holding open houses, I would have continued calling the neighborhood, but my point is, if you put that option in front of your client, here's all we can do, and here's what my suggestion is, and you make it their choice, whose decision is it? Are you okay if they decide to reduce their home price $20,000?
Of course.
I mean, Adam, are you going to be really upset about it? No, right? It's their home, their money. So just make sure that you're being aggressive in the marketplace so that the home actually ends up selling. Did that story make you feel good inside? No? It wasn't the wonderful thing I wanted it to be? By the way, they called me up on their way out of town because they're now moving to Michigan, to Standish. And they said, we're just excited the process was so easy. And I'm laughing because I was hyperventilating, not getting any phone calls about the showing. So, all right, so any wants and needs, any properties you want to tell us about that are adequately priced? Adam.
I have 2 properties right around the corner from yours.
You're speaking into my mic here.
Russell and Boulder Highway, I've got 2 properties. I got one for $349,995.
$349,995.
I had no showings for the first 6 weeks. Actually, my bad. I've had 1 showing in 8 weeks.
I've heard this story.
1 in 8 weeks. 349, model match, 365 thing. So now it has a renter in it. So if someone looking for a house with a renter, client didn't want to sit anymore, it rents at $1,650 a month. They sign an 18-month lease, so now it's an investment property. Around the corner from that, a couple streets up from Boulder Highway in Russell, got one for $440, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,900 square feet. Beautiful home. It's got the doesn't have the RV parking on the side, but it's got the extra wide garage. I'm sorry, extra wide driveway with no HOA.
Cool.
So and it's at $440. And I've got a beautiful place out off of Campbell Road in the northwest for $750. See on a full acre.
Full acre for $750. That's a deal. Okay, Roya, speaking to the microphone.
No showings.
Okay, so we have 3 single stories. 3 single stories.
You're good. It will pick up a radius.
And, 2 of them are no HOAs. I'm going off memory right now. One of them's an 89123, which is kind of like off of like Warm Springs 215 area. Then we have another one that is on 89014, so it's Henderson area. And then we have one that's in Sun City Anthem.
Nice.
So I figured that was the best way to kind of tell you guys our single stories.
She's selling all zip codes.
And 89123 has an above ground pool, and 455. 89014 is at below appraised value at 360. Actually, we just dropped it 5,000, so 355. And then the one in Sun City Anthem is 455.
Nice.
So
Sun City Anthem for $455. That's a steal. That's a steal. Who did I miss on this side of the room? Becky.
Okay, I'm hyperventilating about this property right now.
I've been there. Don't worry.
So,
It'll
if
happen.
anybody's got any suggestions for me, I'm open. But it's off of Fort Apache and Ford. Anybody know where that is? Fort Apache and Ford. It's a 2-story, 4-bedroom, very clean, all white, very small backyard. So that might be holding us back. The owner has
Just knock down the wall. Yeah.
The owner has lowered the price $41,000,
Wow.
and we still don't have any showings and no offers.
There's no HOA though, is there?
It's very low, like $38 a month.
Barely notice it.
Yeah, but it's a nice little neighborhood. I don't know.
What's
what
the address? Do you remember?
Yes, 961 Darkbird.
961 Darkbird.
89178.
So what was the price?
It's just on the other side of Rose Ranch. The price is $509.
509. 509.
That's the reduction of
2431 square feet. That's the reduction.
That's a big house for that. Yeah. This is for you, sir. Yeah, go ahead. You can talk from there, though. It'll hear you.
Okay. I have one in Henderson, 89074, right off of a Wigwam in Eastern. It's 2213 square feet, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 3-car garage. It has a custom cedar closet in it, so anyone that doesn't want their stuff getting eaten by
Custom
moths.
cedar
The
closet.
entire thing is cedar. It's interesting. Above ground spa in perfect condition, so it's not one of the ones that are all like raggedy. That's horrible in the backyard. That's just an eyesore. Works great. It's at 628.8 right now, currently over there. We have another one that's coming up. Should be up by the end of this month in Lake Las Vegas. It's 3172 square feet. It's a penthouse at the Mantova.
Nice.
2 master suites. Both of them have balconies overlooking the Lake Mead recreational area. Unfortunately, it's not the lake, but it's definitely recreational.
Wait. It's the area before the lake that you have to drive through to get there?
Behind it, yes. You
Okay.
have all the mountains and the desert.
I do like how you phrased that. That was very
They're
good.
not going to build it there, so you're good. You got open area. You get to see.
You should be in
all the
sales.
way down that lane. But yeah, we haven't really locked in the whole price completely. It's somewhere in the 9 to 1 million range. So
Nice. It's a lot of recreation. Perfect. All right, did I miss anybody? Yeah. Not Thomas.
I'm talking loud, so you have to come all the way up here.
Sorry.
So I'm all the way in the northwest side of town, like Jones and 215, not this one, but way up north
Yeah.
around. I have a horse property with 6, I believe 8 horse stables, RV parking garage, over 2 acres, luxury property, all like remodeled, brand new last year, 3.9 million and 5,000 square feet. Owned water, septic tank, well,
Come with any horses?
no horses, no.
It's not personal property then? All right. So you guys can tell we have a lot of listings going on. If you guys haven't, you can go onto your MLS and actually check all the company listings, and we've got a ton of them now because of the market we're in. So good stuff, huh? All right, Jason. So Jason's here from Prosperity. Let's give Jason a round of applause. So Jason, right here in front of Keith, there's a little microphone. It's from the CIA. Speaking to the microphone.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Underneath. I know that the room is packed for me because you guys are all super excited to hear me. So
Yes.
welcome, and you guys will be rewarded today because I have good news. So some of the things on my post from last year and some of the times I spoke in here, I would be like, hey, the times are good. Why do you keep talking about bad stuff? Well, today I'm going to flip it, and during the bad times, I'm going to talk about good stuff because we have some. Who saw the message about the CPI report last week? Who knows what the CPI report is, first of all? Anybody want to volunteer?
Shelly's got her hand up.
Consumer price index.
That is exactly correct. And Sherwin, how did it come back?
Came back 0.6 points lower than expected.
That is exactly right. And the markets went crazy and interest rates went down into the 6s. Why? Because that's our first time in many, many months that we have gotten an indication that we might have our arms around inflation, which was huge. We're hoping for another one to come out. This week we have our second sign, in my opinion. Some disagree with me, but we'll see how this works out. Home is Possible is going to be announcing a brand new product today. This is the first time that they're announcing a new product in God knows how long. Right now their products are dreadful, but this looks like it might change. From what I'm hearing, they might be giving back people $15,000 and keeping their rates where they are in the market right now at 6%. We are expecting to hear their full terms today, and we'll start working on flyers and videos. Anybody who would like a flyer or would like to make videos, hopefully you know Angelique and she can help make this for you. But this is our second sign that things are starting to turn. It's not as important as the CPI report, but the federal government would not be releasing money for people to buy homes if they didn't want people to buy homes. They made it abundantly clear in the last 6 months, as you all know, as Chris just talked about, that they didn't want anybody buying homes. They wanted us to stop this for a while. But they also need to be able to lay the tracks to be able to have our recovery start. And this is one of the first signs, in my opinion, that they're starting to lay the tracks for the recovery here. Now that doesn't mean that next week all of a sudden everything's going to be fixed, that is for sure. But what that does mean is that they are starting the process to have people start buying homes again. We are seeing the signs that the rates are going to start coming down. So if I was the first one to say that things were going to go bad last year, I'm going to be maybe the first one to say things are about to get much better going forward. Has anybody seen this wonderful slide going around? I'm sorry I didn't have time to make copies because I was running late. This one's mighty popular right now. But has anybody stopped to ask why this is popular?
Because people don't have calculators.
That is a good point. If you do have a calculator though, why is this popular? You can see this of why this is important. None?
In which way?
In which way? In the way for somebody that's a first-time home buyer or a cash buyer. You want to say?
It just shows that, like, really it's the cost they're paying is roughly the same regardless of the cost of the house.
That is correct. I would go one step further. During really, really good times, could a first-time home buyer buy a house?
No.
No. Like we've been talking about before, they had to pay like $50,000. Did you know that an FHA buyer can put 3.5% down and get 6% back from the seller? Do you know, based on that speech that I just heard, that you'll get the 6%? If you have somebody that's coming back to you saying that they're waiting for times to get better, then I'm going to get that 6%. We're going to go back to where we were. This is their window for first-time home buyers. If you are a first-time home buyer and you want to buy a home, you've got 6 months, is what I'm going to tell you. Once we reach about June, July, and August, your first-time home buyers will not be able to buy again. That is my prediction. Your cash buyers that are out there, couldn't be a better time than right now. In 6 months, they're going to go back to 20 offers again. That's my prediction for you. It's on video. You all are in the room. Let's see where we're at in June or July. In my opinion, all your first-time home buyers is who you should be contacting right now. And y'all have 6 to 8 months to sell them because pretty soon, they're not going to be able to buy.
Love it.
Thank you. Done.
Anything for Jason? Give him a round of applause. A lender with good news. You gotta love that. All right, so as I said before, so Brandon was going to be here today. We're going to move him to the following week after Christmas, so you guys get me, and I can tell by the smiles and the heartwarming feelings, you guys are excited. So last time I was here, I shared with you 55 ways to get business in any market. Did anyone have any takeaways from that were like, wow, I didn't think about that, or I haven't thought about that for a while? Anything at all? Anything at all for $5? You weren't even here and you liked the postcards. I loved it.
I did. I like getting back to like the postcards, doing it instead of doing like 1,000, like do it to 100. Send out to 100 people, get 40. Yeah, I listened.
Yep. Good. I knew I liked you from the very beginning. Anybody else have any takeaways? Anything that you used to do that you're starting to do again? Anything at all? Anything at all from this side of the room? Anything at all?
Open houses, a lot of them,
Open houses, a lot of them.
like back to back, 3 days, 4 days in a row.
So I'm trying to get open house signs right now, and there's a shortage. Yeah. I don't know where all mine went, but there's a shortage. That's what I was told by the sign company. So I went out last weekend, and I noticed that there were probably 13 open houses in my neighborhood. That's pretty amazing, right? So that means people are out there working. And so you work and you get listings. What is the whole point of 55 ways to get business? What is the whole point of me telling you that? So you can get, I love that you said so you can get business. Absolutely. The reason I have that list is the things that we did 10, 15, 20, 25 years ago in real estate are still prevalent today to get business. The only thing that's changed is your perspective. If you go out and door knock right now, and you door knock 100 doors a day, can you honestly look me in the eye and tell me that you would not get business? Who here is ready to go out and door knock today? And that's where I usually lose the audience, right? So we actually know that business is there if we want to go get it, but the real question is, how motivated are we to go get it? How many $10,000 checks would I have to hand you for your motivation level to turn down 5 or 6 notches? Shouldn't money motivate you to do more? Why doesn't it? We all have our number, right? Everyone has a price. I like that you said that. But why doesn't it? If I knew that every door was $15,000 that I knocked, after 30 doors, every 31st door is $15,000, why would I not go out and keep knocking doors? I'm comfortable. But I'm not rich. I don't have a yacht. I have a little tugboat in the bathtub, but that's all I got. Why? Why would I not go out and do it? Lazy. I don't really believe I would point the finger and call anybody lazy, because I could get beat up that way. But I think unmotivated is a good way to put it, and unmotivated can come in many different forms. My family, my wife back there staring at me with loving eyes, my family is a pretty important motivator. The power bill is a pretty important motivator. My kids' college tuition in a few years is a pretty important motivator. But why don't I just force through it and go do it? Why don't I do it every day?
Because it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of friggin' work! Right? I convinced myself not to. So first off, the first thing I'm going to talk to you about is I could give you the best business plan ever. I could give you 55 ways to get the business. I could give Todd to come here and give you a chart of how many it would take to hit the number you want. But none of that is going to motivate you to go out and do it until you decide to do it. So give me some examples of what forces you to do something. What is an extreme motivator for you? Fear is a motivator, right? Fear of what? The taxes? Fear of loss, right? If I felt tomorrow I'm going to be homeless if I don't sell a house, I probably am going to try and sell something, right? It's probably the house I'm living in, right? That's the old joke that Mike Ferry tells at every convention he ever holds. You know, hey, I gave an agent $100,000 to list his house, and he listed his own house. That was the first one he got. What else is a motivator? What's your biggest motivator right now? Say again? Pain. Okay. Well, pain's a motivator, but I mean, come on. I'm asking you, what excites you about getting up in the morning?
Working for Signature.
Working for Signature Real Estate Group. Hey, high five right there, buddy. High five. That one's for Brandon. We're going to raise your split to 100%. Come on, somebody give me one of your motivators. Because if you don't have one, why are you here? Kids, and family. I love that you brought up the kids. It's always for the kids. For $2 a day, you can make my family happy too.
Because failure's not an option.
Failure's not an option. I'm going to tell you right now, no matter what you put on your business planning board, you need to take a step back and find out why you're really here. Why did you really choose a career with unlimited potential, but you're the boss? Every day I come to work and I look at it and I say, what is my main motivator for being here? And I think of Brandon. He's going to write me a paycheck if I stay, right? I think of my wife and family. Hey, I would like to provide more for them. I think of myself. This isn't all I've ever wanted in life. But those things are what motivates me every day to keep coming back to a job that I love a lot. Let's be honest, I'm not digging any ditches. I'm not working outside in the extreme heat. It's a very comfortable employment atmosphere, right? But I have to understand why I show up. Because as soon as a phone call comes in, as soon as I get one of those broker issues that you guys love to deal with, as soon as there's a problem, I have to decide whether I'm going to make it on a business decision or I'm just going to give up. Right? Am I wrong? No. Okay, so I want you in your mind. I'm not going to ask anybody else because that didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Think of your motivator. Think of it behind everything, because the first thing we say in sales when we go to get a client is what? What's their motivation? What's yours? Okay. What's the number 2 most important thing in real estate for you as a realtor?
Leads.
Leads. Yes, leads. Where's the easiest place to get leads? Oh, thank God you're here. Okay, so SOI. I'm just going to share a couple of things on this because we beat the SOI horse to death a few months ago, but why is your SOI important? They know you, they like you, they love you. Some of them do, some of them don't. I've talked to a few of them. But the whole point is they're like your fingerprint. They're special just to you. There are people that you know and I know. We know them together, but they may like you best. My friend Angela over there and I went to the same school together from 1st grade to 12th grade. It was a fun time for her. We had friends that we all knew together, and some of us hung out more and some of us hung out less. But what was interesting is because of her personality, because of my personality, because of where we went, the things we did, the places we had, the interests we looked at, all of the people interacted differently. and they had connection points. And so a lot of the people liked her better than me, right? It was very hard to deal with. But the whole point was there were people that I got along with better because of the same interaction points. And so the first thing I'm going to tell you, if you want to start your business over this week, and that's what you should do if you don't know what the hell you're doing, the first and easiest step is to find 100 people. Find 100 people within your thumbprint database that you could put on a piece of paper and identify their name, their phone number, their email address, and a physical location. I'm not saying a physical address, not everyone owns a home. They get mail somewhere. And so I'm going to say get to 100. How hard would that be for you?
Shouldn't be hard at all.
So how many people have 100 right now? Okay, I feel better about that. I'm glad. Some of you have been in the business 40 years. That's great. 100 people. So why is 100 important?
That's at least 10 deals.
That's at least 10 deals, right? Because we go off the 10% rule because you've been to my class before. So that equals 10 opportunities. Not exactly 10 deals, but 10 opportunities. Do I get every opportunity I go out for? Yes, I do, because I'm Chris Bishop. No, I don't. I don't get every opportunity, but I need at least 10 to have a viable business. Now, 10 deals 10 years ago was worth how much? About $6,500 a deal, and 10 deals, that's like $65,000. That's one good night in Vegas, right? What's a deal worth now? About 15 grand. 10 deals, about 150,000. That's a good month in Vegas, right? And so I need at least that. So what would I do first in my business on a regular basis to do the production level I want to do?
Call your spirit.
Grow your spirit.
Grow your sphere. Thank you. Grow your SOI. All right, so my target number for everyone in this world that I've ever met is 400 people. If you actually take, and we're going to talk about a few ways to do that before I go on to the other segments, but if you actually start off with 100 today, and it probably will take you a few days because I know that you got things going on, and it's not your only job, and you know, you're not really working it that hard because you're not really that motivated. It takes a little while to get to 100 people. So where do I find 100 people right now? If I gave you $50, give me 100 people. Could you do it?
In your phone.
Your cell phone. So there's people in there you haven't called forever. Where else could you go?
LinkedIn.
All right, so your cell, LinkedIn. You know, a lot of people don't think of LinkedIn. That's where people go to meet people. Facebook. Social media, yeah. That's it.
The gym.
The gym, yeah, that's where I'm going to meet him. The gym's actually a great idea. I'll hang out in the parking lot and see who comes out.
The smoothie bar?
Yeah. Technically, that's a great idea because you do meet people at the gym. You see them there every day. I just don't know what you're talking about. But
Clearly.
networking groups. Thank you, networks. So let's talk about networks. That's in one S. Networking groups are fantastic, but the problem with networking groups is you don't do the hard work. You go to a place and there's a bunch of people and you chit chat with your drink in your hand. What do you leave with?
Business cards.
Yeah. Hopefully you get a bunch of cards. What did they leave with? Bunch of cards. So do you just call all the cards that you get?
No, you get
No.
the number while you're at the event.
It's like a bad night out, right? You come back and you got all these business cards. I don't remember any of these people, right? The whole point of it was to take a group of people and have constant interaction on a regular basis so that you could stay in front of them about real estate. Not so you got their business card one time and called them out of the blue and they don't know who you are and they don't care.
There are events that you can do that, like
Absolutely.
like BNI groups.
Yep.
And like Chamber of Commerce.
And how often do they happen?
Once a week.
Once a week. That's a great contact source. Once a week in front of people. That's a business, right? What else? We have networks, Facebook, social media, cell phones. It's a whole way to get business right there. How else do you meet people? Robert.
You know, I thought of something that I did years ago before real estate, and I haven't done, just popped in my brain, was I used to be involved in church every Sunday, right? And most big churches have a church directory.
Yep.
And, you know, some might think it's cheesy, but why not call up people in your church saying, hey, I belong to your congregation, I'm a realtor, just need anything, I just want to be there for you and help you out.
Yeah, I actually love that idea because churches are a center of a community, right? So is the grocery store, funny enough. If you saw real estate offices and grocery stores all the time because what do you do on the way home every night? Go to a grocery store, right? Every single night. You know, I go to church once a week, but I go to the grocery store every single night. The gym. I love that Adam said the gym. I'm just making fun of it. But the whole truth is most people go to the gym almost every other day. Don't they? These jokes get funnier as you drink, so let's get to there in a minute. The other one is clubs. So golf courses, tennis clubs, social clubs. These are places that, not strip. These are places, I tell the jokes here. These are places, I have a whole segment on that actually, because I have a friend that made his entire business from it. But the whole point, hey, bring it back. The whole point is, these places are where people interact on a regular, consistent, constant basis, and you have a purpose in common, right? That's the same thing about you knowing a bunch of people. So my whole thing is, if you can at least, I've not had one new agent. I've not had one agent that wasn't new, that just was, you know, out of business and out of enjoyment of it. I've had everyone find 100 people. It's not really that hard. But what really seems to be hard is to grow that number to 400 people. And so I'm going to give you some tips. Number one, call the 100 people and ask them for one person. It works really well. I mean, hey, listen, I've got a goal with my coach today that I have to add at least one more person to my database, and you're my last call. Can you please give me one person that would be great to add? By the way, I'm going to make that call to all 100 people, the same call, right? And I'd probably end up with 200 people because people love contests and they love to help people out, right? Now, if I made that same call and I made it once a week for 4 weeks, could I end up with 400 people? Absolutely. The other thing is that in most groups of people that you have family members, right? Do you have one friend that you know really well, but you kind of know their family as well? Would you just randomly call their family? You'd probably give them a heads up, right? Hey, listen, I'm gonna like berate your parents and ask them for business. Will you like put a good word in for me? I did that to Angela's family, right? I called her up and I said, hey, I need some business. Your parents are fun. You think they'd buy a house? And she's like, not from you. But I actually sold 3 people in her family a house. And then she got a real estate license and killed my whole business. But that's the point. It's engaging others to support what you're doing, right? And then again, all of these other resources are places you go. Now, the whole thing I don't want you to do is I don't want you to call Thomas up and say, give me a name and a phone number. I don't care which one, just pull one out of your pocket. I want you to utilize him as your client to get that person engaged with you and your business. Hey, before I call them, would you let them know I'm not crazy and who I am, and that I'm actually providing a real estate service and I just want to help them with it, okay? Now, who here has ever not wanted to call people because you don't know what to say? So, I'm sorry, what does it say on your license again?
Cold call.
Chris Bishop, yeah. It says salesperson. So what should you talk about in this business? Sales, right? So has anyone heard of any good listings that are available in the marketplace recently? Did we just talk about 7 or 8 of them, right? 9 with his. The whole point is that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about sales to people who could buy or sell, right? What else is important to the client that you should be doing every time you talk with them? What's your real role?
Market update.
Okay, so asking them for business. What was that?
Market information.
Okay, market stats and information. Jason?
Is there anything they need from me?
Is there anything they need from me? So if I turn my client into a resource instead of a liability, would that be better? I'm going to use Angela for an example because it's fun. Hey, Angela, it's Chris Bishop. You're a local friendly realtor. Hey, I realize that we've known each other for years, and I've not told you all I can do to help you in your business. I wanted to let you know that my goal isn't just to help you buy and sell a property here and there. My goal is to help you build wealth through real estate. Have you ever had a wealth consultation about your real estate properties? Have you guys ever done that? What's a wealth consultation? I don't know. So teaching my clients how to give me more business. Hey, Shelly, would you like to own 10 rental properties? Maybe. Would you like to own a vacation home, cabin, timeshare, a yacht? You ever play Monopoly? The whole point is we tend to forget as salespeople all the things that we can sell because we never tell our clients about it. So if I had consultations with every single one of my clients in my database about how I can help them build wealth in real estate, could I get more deals? So the whole thing you're going to say next is, what the hell do I talk about when we get to the meeting? Talk about real estate and their goals. If I sat Lizette down and I said, give me 3 or 4 goals you have in real estate property ownership, and she started rattling things off, and I started showing her paths to get there, did I just create more deals? Did I also just create a reason to call her every single month and talk about her real estate needs? That's all it really takes. This is not rocket science, right? I'm not up here because, I'm a scientist. I'm up here because it's this friggin' simple. All I have to do is call people on a monthly basis and talk about them and their real estate needs, and they will give me what? Business. Okay, cool. So you guys all got that down. No questions? Anything on SOI? Let me ask you this one last question. What other SOIs would you have besides your clients that would be beneficial to you?
Other realtors.
Oh my God, yes. Where did you just come back from, Patty?
I came back from the National Association of Realtors annual.
It's called Next, because they don't know where they're going. That's a funny joke. You'll get that later. The whole point is that conference has 22,000 realtors in a closed space. Every bar you walk into at night, it's kind of interesting. I like to go in there and say, man, I'm thinking about selling my home. I just don't know if I can watch everybody turn around together. The whole point is it's very easy for me to get a database of these realtors across the country and market to them about real estate. What's the #1 vacation destination in the world?
Las Vegas.
I don't know if that's true, but I sure hope it is, right? But I do know that every time I bring up the word Las Vegas, everybody knows what I'm talking about, right? Maybe Lake Tahoe, some people know and they've been there, but everyone knows Las Vegas. And so it would be extremely easy for me right now to use my same rule of math and go out and get 400 realtors across the nation. Now, am I going to get the person that just got their license yesterday? What could I do? What's a big resource for you in real estate?
Referrals.
Google. Google. Have you seen the little old lady go, Google? Google? Yeah. You'll watch that video later. It'll come up on your phone now that I said it. Anyway, the whole point is I could Google top real estate agents in Dallas, and I could pop up 3 top real estate agents in Dallas, and I could make friends with one of them. I could pop up top real estate agents in Orlando, Florida, same thing. I could go on Zillow, that dirty word, and I could type in Orlando properties and find out the guy paying the most for marketing in Orlando and make friends with him or her and put them into my 400 contacts in my real estate database, and I could market to them for what? Leads, referrals, right? Now, what would I send them and talk to them about on a monthly basis? What do you get every single month that just happens? Yeah, you get Janet's newsletter. No, you get the market stats. Every single month without fail, the Board of Realtors sends you all the stats on the marketplace in a really nice PowerPoint presentation. If you took all 400 people and put them in a database and you sent that presentation to them every single month and said, hey, here's your Las Vegas market report, let me know if you have any clients interested, and you just sent it off, would that be a benefit? Let me throw this in a different way. Thomas, I come out to list your house, this beautiful home in the recreation area in Lake Mead, right? And I tell the seller, and the seller looks at me and says, what are you going to do to market my home? Thomas, I'm so glad you asked that. I have 400 top agents around the country that I'm going to market your home to so that they can tell their hundreds of thousands of clients all about this property. Did anyone else offer you that? Is that a valuable resource? Okay. Would that be a value to send to those clients? Yeah, it'd be huge, right? So again, you can do that. This is out-of-state realtors. What else should you have?
Chris,
Janet?
can I add something to out-of-state realtors? If you belong to any of our societies like Women's Council of Realtors or other organizations, you get an actual roster. You have access to everyone, and not only that, if they filled out their profile right, because I'll tell you a true story. Before we had our, referral group, agents would come to me and say, I need an agent in Dallas. And I'd say, okay. So I'd go to WCR, Women's Council of Realtors website. I'd go to Dallas. I'd say, oh, let's don't call her. She doesn't have a picture in. Oh, look at him. Because men make up a large portion of WCR members. Look at all the designations she has. Give me the zip code your people are interested in. And it works. And they didn't even know they were getting referrals from me, but I used to spend at least part of every day on Women's Council of Realtors website helping agents place referrals?
Yeah, I've actually gotten referrals from WCR because my mom is a WCR past president and she doesn't show buyers either. And so she'd call me up and say, hey, Chris, you want to show this person a property here in Vegas? And yeah, I wanted to sell houses, so that's what I did. Okay, local realtors. Let's talk about this for 1 second. So go back 12, 14 years ago, I decided to run for the board of realtors. And I realized that it costs a little bit of money to blast out realtors with my flyer all the time. So what do you think I did? I went to the MLS and I downloaded the entire realtor roster with their phone numbers, their email addresses, and their names. I downloaded it into a CRM that I paid for separately, and I blasted out to them 3 times a week my flyer, because that's works, right? Because you read all your emails. But I sent it every 3 or 4 days so I could get interest of people finding out, this is Chris, this is what he stands for, this is what he's running for. And I was able to send it out to 12,000 agents like 50 times in the month. And it got me in front of enough people where I got enough votes, I actually won. And then I got rid of the database. That was the dumbest thing I ever did, right? Because I had all 12,000 agents at that time in a database where I had already worked out the emails that did work, the emails that didn't work. And so I had about 9,000 working email addresses and information for the local market. And so just like we were just talking about, when I list that property and I send it to 400 agents out of market, I can work my own database of top producers here in the marketplace, or any producer in the marketplace, and work with them. Did you guys know that 50% of the agents in our local market are part-time, and 50% of the brokers that manage them are also part-time? Could they have a need for a full-time working real estate agent? Absolutely. But again, this is another database that I can work. Any questions on that? Sound like a lot of work? It's really starting to turn into a job, isn't it? Okay. All right. So besides my database that I'm going to fill with all of my business and it's all going to be wonderful unicorns, where do I get business from after that? Pay for it, yep. Just write checks to Zillow, right? By the way, can I do that?
Yeah.
What's the only problem with me writing checks to Zillow? They cash them, right? And so it's a money game. If I give them $10,000 and I don't get any leads, I don't make any money. But if I give them $10,000 and I make $15,000 in income, did I just make $5,000? Is that a business model? The only problem is I'm not going to spend $10,000 a month if I'm not at least pulling in 20, because I have to have some money to live on, right? And so I love the idea, actually, of buying leads from reputable people that produce them, but only if it pencils and makes money. And I think that's something that many people don't do, because what do they do first? When they get that check for $15,000, what do they do with it?
Spend it.
They spend it, right? Because they got bills. Everyone's got bills, but this is your business versus your personal. And so I know people right now that are very good friends of mine that spend $80,000 a month on lead systems. But I don't know that they make $80,000 a month. And that's my concern, right? How long could you go before you run out of money? I'm at about 2.5 hours. Right? Okay. Sorry for my horrible handwriting. Hunting and farming. Every single day in real estate, you should have a hunting activity that you're doing, and you should have a farming activity that you're doing. What is an example of a hunting activity? And don't say bow and arrow. Door knocking, yes. Okay. Why is door knocking hunting?
You're actively outside.
Robert, I'm going to put you on the spot. Stand up. Stand up, Robert. Let's give Robert a round of applause. So the reason I asked Robert to stand up, he's the best example in the room of someone that understands the numbers and the idea behind door knocking. Robert was a regional manager with ADT, and ADT sells what? That's right, it's alarming when Robert shows up, right? You used to use that slogan, I'm sure. But the whole point is, Robert, in your previous business, how many doors did it take for you to knock until you sold an alarm system?
Well, when you start, the numbers are a lot higher than you do, but just like any sales, when you get better, then your average is obviously, you're talking to less people. But when you're new, probably a minimum 150, 100 doors a day. 6 hours a day knocking, wind, heat, cold, whatever, get out there.
How many was your best number of doors you'd have to knock?
I've been knocking doors for 20 years. I got to the point where I could talk to about 5 people that were new homeowners. I could pull a deal on that.
So the whole thing, thank you, Robert, you can sit down. I appreciate you standing up. The whole thing about that is that when he started out training these agents, 100 and 150 doors of knocking all day meant one alarm system. What would they make off an alarm system?
$800.
$100?
$800.
$800. Who here wants to make $800 a day right now, right? That's a pretty great income. That's an absolutely great income. And if you knew that you door knocked for 6 hours, 150 doors to make $800, and you did that every day, 6 days a week, that's $4,800 a week, right? No, $6,400 a week. No, wait, I'm $4,800. I was right there the first time. But the whole point is, if I got better and better and better until I got to Robert's position where I'd only knock 5 doors, then what do they do with great people that do great jobs? They put you into management, right? So you can train others. But Robert didn't have to work as hard anymore because he only had to knock 5 doors while everyone else had to knock 100. Why was he better than that initial person? Did it longer, he had more practice, and he had better skills that he had earned over a time of doing it, right? Door knocking works the same way in our business. It's a numbers game. Every agent that I know that makes their business by door knocking tracks their numbers, and they know that if they knock so many doors, based on when they started and now, it's a numbers game until they get a listing. Anybody know Mike Yaruski?
Yep.
Where do you think Mike's at right now? Home asleep? Mike's out door knocking. He's taking 7% listings, knocking on front doors, and what do you think the median prices he takes, Robert? About $850? Yeah. So he's taking 7% listings at $850, knocking on people's doors. They list because he won't go away. Literally. He stays there and talks to them until they tell him to go away. But he has gotten better and better at it, and it's done more and more for his business. But my whole point is, that is the best hunting activity, bar none, that anyone can do. And it's extremely simple. You just go up to the door and you go, "Realtor." They kind of get what you're doing there, right? Anybody have any questions about door knocking and if it's for them? Anybody want to go door knocking with me today? Adam will go. Adam ain't afraid. Why don't more agents go door knocking?
They're intimidated.
Intimidated by what? The door? The evil villain behind it? Why don't more people door knock? I'm serious. I really want to understand. Boy, you guys came up with a lot of excuses fast. What was the one you said it was great?
Rejection.
Rejection, okay. I knock on the door, they're there, and they're going to slam the door in my face. Well, we know it's not the first time that's happened to you, right? What's the real rejection?
You may be uncomfortable about what to say. You know, if somebody opens the door, you might not really know the best response for every situation.
Yeah.
So you feel
I'm not sure
nervous.
what to say. Let me show you extreme rejection door knocking. Have you ever heard the cocking of a shotgun? That's extreme rejection during door knocking. I've actually had that happen to me. I was knocking on REO doors, giving them money, cash, and I'm giving them money. I have the check with me. I'm giving them money, and I can't see behind the door, and all I hear is that shotgun click, and you step back a few steps. Always, right? And then what happened? "Hi, I'm from the bank. I'm here to give you some money." You start talking very fast when you hear things like that, right?
Stayed at the door.
I did! More so because I couldn't move.
I've been in the car.
And the funny thing was, as soon as I said, "I'm from the bank and I'm here to give you some money," the lady behind, the shotgun one, the lady behind the door said, "Oh, I didn't know who you were, and I've been worried about who's going to knock on my door," right? But as soon as I did that, we started a conversation. I actually made a friend. With the size of the shotgun she had, she could have made a lot of friends that day. But the whole point was, it was very simple once I got past the emotion of what I didn't even know would happen, right? But this one part of your business, what if you knock 10 doors around every listing? 5 on the other side of the street, 2 on each side, and then 1 somewhere else. Would that be pretty simple? What would you go and tell everyone that you're knocking on the door? I just listed the house next door. Even your neighbors trust me. I think you should too, right? But you're just there to tell them that you listed the house and that you're a realtor. That's all I'm asking you to do. Hey, I just want to let you know you're going to see some cars coming in and out. My clients are moving out of state. The home's going to be vacant. I'm just stopping by because I'm the realtor, and I thought it's my duty to let you know the house will be vacant. Keep an eye out for it. Here's my card. If you see anything strange, call me. If you see anyone that wants to move, call me, right? Very easy. Do you feel good about that? Did I put you in a comforting ease about door knocking? Good, go do it. Okay, farming. What's an example of farming?
Postcards are email.
So what really is farming at its core base?
Reaching out to the same amount of people.
Okay. You guys have been through this class before. So it's about tilling a field, planting some seeds, watering them, and watching the crop grow, right? And so farming doesn't mean I'm just farming a neighborhood. Farming means I'm farming a group or an area. So could I farm my club that I'm part of? Could I farm the gym that I go to? Could I farm the bar that I frequent? Yes. All of these things could be farms if I'm continuous in the activities I do around them with a plan. So I'm going to give you a perfect example of a great farm that all of you can do right now. How many of you have a Facebook page? Okay. How many people, Tad, how many people you have on your Facebook page?
Several thousand.
Several thousand. Wow, fantastic. Angela, how many people you have on your Facebook page?
No clue.
No clue. Lizette, how many people you have on your Facebook page? A few thousand, okay. Send a post every day about something in real estate. That's a farm, right? But why do they not care? No, I know you're in real estate. I don't really care about that. I want to see more pictures of your kids. That's what I'm into. I want to see more pictures of your vacation because I can't go nowhere. Why is Facebook a great farm? It's a group of people in a community that circle around you that have to get some of your content because Facebook says it does, right? And so the only thing that doesn't happen on Facebook is, have you ever been on someone's Facebook page and the last post was 2 years ago, but they like everything you do? They're a watcher. It's very, very simple. So I have a cousin who's a top real estate agent in Bellevue, Washington. She used to be a marketing director for Disney. And so Disney, pretty well-known company, right? And what Disney does is they forecast out for 3 or 4 months the entire marketing broadcast that they're going to do on all of their channels, all of their promotions, and all of their commercials so that everything synergizes together. And so guess what she did? She left her job there and she decided to become a real estate agent. So what do you think she did with her social media? She forecasted it out. What a great idea, right? So she records 30 days worth of content 30 days before it goes out. So right now, she's recording all of her content for December so that when December comes, it's completely automated, consistent, and continuous, and she starts working on January. What's amazing to me is she did $18 million in sales last year off of social media. 18 million. And she never door knocked a door, and she never cold called a client. They all contacted her. And the only difference between her social media and yours right now is she planned it out. Isn't that crazy? She planned it out. Now, as she planned it out, what do you think happened with her social media?
More and more followers.
Got more and more followers, but it also got better. She has a green room in her living room. It's all staged. She has these props, like she has like a whole chair setting where she brings clients in, things like that. Here's what she did with her most recent listing. She knew because Adam said, I'm going to list my house in 3 months, that was going to be her listing in 3 months because Adam committed to it, signed up the agreement, the whole thing. So she started selling the sale today, but not the property. She went to the property and actually helped them plant trees and shrubs and flowers and plants and helped them stage the home by moving photos and moving pictures and making it look great, cleaning out the garage and having a garage sale. She videoed all of it and put it on her social media page of the things that she does to help her clients sell their homes and to get ready. She never once talked about the property. She never once talked about what she did as an agent. All she did was talk about them and the progress of their move. And she did that the entire 3 months leading up to when she finally listed the property. Property sold immediately. Why?
People were already following it.
All of the people were already following it that were going to buy that property as soon as it came on the market. Who brought them to the table? She did. Do you think her clients saw the value in the service she provided? I did. And so my whole thing is, we all do this every time. We get properties ready, we get them ready to sell, but what do we really do to sell the sizzle of what we're doing? We don't do a lot. Okay, so really simple. If I were an agent starting today and I'd never sold a deal, I would go out and get 100 people from my database and I would start working them on a regular basis by making phone calls. Then I would have a goal to get that 100 to 400, because out of 400 people that are getting contacted by you every month, contacted how? Phone, email, face-to-face, postcard. You cannot eliminate the personal contact. People don't sign up with text messages. They sign up with questions from real people. They may like you because of a social media post, but they don't decide to use you because of a social media post. They want to physically talk to you. And so if you're eliminating your physical contact from the conversation, you're not going to get the value of what you're trying to do. And so now you grow that database to 400, and it gives you 40 opportunities a year. And if you screw up half of them, that's still 20 deals. Then the whole point is you fill the rest of the day with hunting and farming activities. I would suggest that if you're going to farm, you go get a farm of about 100 people, because it's a really easy farm of people to work. You do the same thing you're going to do on your SOI database, and you just drip to those people and get in front of them, right? Do you have to spend a fortune to have a farm? No, you just have to be present in it, right? Everyone expects to see the farmer at the farm. Door knocking. How much does it cost to go door knocking? Cost of gas right now, it could cost quite a bit. But the whole point is, if you put yourself into a neighborhood and you're just knocking on doors and you spend 4 or 5 hours knocking on doors, here's what I hear from every agent that does it. Well, I didn't get anyone that wanted to list their house. I just met about 30 people. What was the real value of door knocking? If I take those 30 people and I add them back to my database, did I just grow my database by almost 10%? If I grew my database by 10% every week, could I have a massive database of working people? Have you ever knocked on a door or gone to an open house and met the nosiest neighbor in the neighborhood? Like you wish you had that time back and the air they've sucked out of your lungs, right? The point was, those are the best people to meet in a neighborhood because they're in everybody's business and now they're your friend. And if you're making phone calls to them and following up, can they provide you with business? Absolutely, right? Same idea. Any questions about what I talked about? Anybody not awake? Raise your hand if you're not awake. Questions at all about working this whole idea? Nothing? You all feel really good about it? It's all great? Yeah? Still smiles in the back? Beta, any questions online? No? Okay, great. So the whole point is on this cycle, what I wanted you to take away from the last couple of days is it's not really that hard to plan. It's not really that hard of a business. It's extremely simple. It's just not easy, right? And all it really takes is you to put some thought into it, why you're here, what you're going to do while you're here, and just putting some action in place. Make sense? Does everyone want to go home now? Who here's going door knocking right after this meeting? Yeah! All right, guys. Have a great day. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Oh, Janet has a few announcements. If you would have clapped louder, you wouldn't have heard her. Actually, just talk right there.
Okay, so I had all of this
That's
in
right.
the newsletter, but somehow after I typed it and passed it on, it didn't make the newsletter. And I've had agents texting me and calling me going, what about this party? Are we going to do this? So I'm just going to tell you what we have coming up for the next 6 weeks, and I'm going to hopefully get it in the newsletter this week. First of all, our Thanksgiving feast is Tuesday, 11:30 to 1:30.
Thursday.
I'm sorry, Thursday, that's such a reminder. This Thursday, the 17th, Green Valley will be doing their own. All other offices are invited to Spanish Ridge, Southwest. The company's providing the turkeys and the ham. Please bring a side dish to share. Okay, all signature offices are going to be closed Thursday and Friday for Thanksgiving holiday. Monday,
Next week.
after Thanksgiving, the 28th at 10 o'clock, the Southwest office, I don't know about any other office, is going to decorate for the holidays. If you would like to come volunteer and help, we would be greatly appreciative. Now, if the other offices want to get me their schedules, I'll be happy to put them in the newsletter, and hopefully they will get out. Friday, December 2nd, I've had new people ask me, when is the President's Appreciation Party? It's now been changed, the name, to the Committee Appreciation Party, which is really the best party you'll attend every year, but it's by invitation only. And to get an invitation, you have to have served on a committee. It's Friday, December 2nd, 5:30 at the Four Seasons. Saturday, December 3rd, Paper and Pancakes from 9 to 12. This is invite your clients, your past clients, clients you're working with. Invite them to bring their whole family. We're going to have a shredding truck in the parking lot to shred all those boxes of paper in your garage. We're going to have a coffee truck. We will have a Santa Claus for pictures. The Grinch will be there. The Grinch will be from Alignology, and they're going to be providing free back chair massages. And we will also have pancakes, 9 to 12 at the Northwest office. Tad, you had a question? Okay, 9 to 12. So bring your kids, get their picture taken with Santa Claus. I remember one year we had more realtors have their picture taken with Santa than
Kinky.
kids. It was. The flyers have been finished for the paper and pancakes, and they will be posted soon so you can make copies for your clients. Thursday, December the 8th, 9:30, Southwest will be having their annual White Elephant Holiday Brunch potluck. Bring a brunch dish to share. Bring a gift around $25 wrapped with...
She means alcohol.
No, I've never brought alcohol.
I can't find a lot of things around $25 other than alcohol.
a squatty potty last year. It was great.
With no name on it, and all agents are welcome to come, not just Southwest. Just let Savannah at the front desk know what kind of food you're bringing. Friday, December the 9th, 5 o'clock. The installation of Tom Blanchard as president of Nevada Realtors at the M Resort. You all have an email in your email that came out late yesterday from the state to make reservations, which you must RSVP. Friday, December 16th, 5 o'clock. The Green Valley office will be hosting the Green Valley Holiday Party, and those are all the details I have at the moment. And all other offices are invited to the Northwest office on Saturday, December 17th at 5 o'clock for our holiday party, and I don't have any other details. Yes, Jason?
Open house seminar.
Oh, yes, well, that was in the earlier part of the newsletter. Yes, that did get out, I think. Open house lunch and learn on Thursday at noon here, right? No, that's our Thanksgiving.
No, it's after that one. It's week
The following.
Next week after December, like I want to say like 8th or somewhere.
Yeah, I just wanted to get all the social events out there for those people that may need babysitters and need to plan in advance, figure out what you're wearing. So now you have it, and hopefully it'll be in this week's newsletter. That's
stuff.
all I have.
Thank you, Janet. Guys, thank you. Have a great day.